Hello, and welcome to The Knit Girls. This is episode 346. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It is Monday, May the 1st, 2017.
Yep. Oh my gosh, it's May.
I know.
It's the month of Stash Dash. We should record our Stash Dash episode this weekend, and that we'll review.
You
all
have
the
to,
things. I'll have to remind you.
Yeah, but you also have to finish your polling or whatever so we can talk about the...
Yeah. I'm going to close that.
The actual decisions that were made.
Yeah, so we're discussing Stash Dash. Stash Dash is our annual summer knit-along that we do to try to decrease stash or finish objects up or do whatever. You use it, you do you.
Yeah.
So you use it as you want to use it, whether it's you're crazy competitive about other people, just get used to them looking at you.
Jasmine Knit more looking at you.
Or you want to get rid of stash that's been lurking. I found 6 skeins or 5 skeins of a cotton like nubby boucle yesterday. So I think I might knit Mama Linneman.
Baby hats.
I was thinking, well, it's like 800 yards. I was thinking I knit Mama Linneman. Like one of the Cocoa Knits tops.
Oh, yeah. Like
the open work, so that might happen. Anyway, or use it to get rid of some old stash that's like pre-Ravelry, pre-Mississippi, pre-North Carolina.
If you,
stash,
it's also like if you have like a giant Afghan that you started and
you need motivation to finish it.
Yes, this is a great way because you
way.
get invisible magic points that don't mean anything except in our group.
There you go.
It's like, whose line is it anyway with Drew Carey?
Yeah. Oh,
and where it is, it doesn't matter.
I liked the host before Drew Carey, but I can't remember his.
Oh, I only ever knew it was Drew Carey.
Yeah, it was British first.
Oh, I only ever knew it was Drew Carey.
I don't know.
I loved him. With Colin and
Ryan.
Yes.
And everyone else.
Yeah.
Wayne Brady
was really good on that, yeah. Anyway, Whose Line Is It Anyway was a comedy show, like a sketch show.
I'm sure you can find it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, this is not a show about comedy specials of the 90s.
I think Drew Carey was like the 2000s.
Oh, was he?
I don't know.
Well, this is actually a knitting show.
Sometimes.
Usually. So, let's talk about knitting. You want to go, or do you want me to? You're binding off, so I'll talk.
Okay. Plus, I'm super boring, so...
You're not. That is not actually a fact. So, I'm knitting 2 different tanks. And I've never knit tanks before, but I figured I would just jump in with both feet.
I totally, in my head, went, two tanks.
I'm using a bag that my friend Jess got me in London.
Aww.
At Loop. And I'm using the Quince & Company Kestrel yarn, which is 100% organic linen in the Ebb Tide colorway.
You did something cool with that yesterday.
These
I got
come
pictures.
in 76 yard skeins, so they're itty bitty, which means you have to order a bunch of them. And what I do is I hand wind them because I just feel like it's not worth the time. So for me, my actual living area is downstairs from where my skein winder is. So
it has to walk upstairs.
It has to be worth the trip for me to bother with it. And 76 yard skeins, not worth the trip. Also because they're organic linen, the skeins are very stiff, but at the same time they fall apart. Yeah, really easy. So I don't even bother winding them into a cake. I just wind them into a ball. I did learn because of a lovely person on our board sent me a link to Olga, name I can't pronounce, who did a video on this yarn is a ribbon yarn. It's like a chain construction. So basically it's sort of like I-cord. It's just around and around and around and around and around in a spiral. And it's got 6 individual little loops for each layer, and when you unravel it, it's about the thickness of sewing thread. And I watched this video that one of our viewers linked, and I'll try to find it and put a link in the show notes as well. And it allows you to do a Russian join on this yarn. So basically it makes it an invisible join. I will insert a picture here. Whoa, with the magic of the internet. To show, I sent Laura and a couple of our other friends a picture last night.
She's being a braggy McBraggy
I
pants.
was being a braggy pants. That'll be the episode title. Thank you. Not because it's about me, but because I like the word braggy pants. But I was able to do a Russian join with chained yarn, and it was practically invisible. It was slightly wider on one side than the other, but once it was knit
really
in,
good.
You couldn't tell. So I have, besides my cast on edge, I have 0 ends. And this is, I'm on skein 4.
Whoa.
So I have
you're 400 yards in.
0 ends. It's inside out, but all right.
Why is it inside out?
Just because I was showing you, there's no ends. Because once you do the Russian join, you trim off the little bits, and then it's invisible, and there's no ends to weave in.
That's pretty awesome.
It is a little bit of a pain. Like, I have to pull out I have this...
Do you have a magnifier?
I do.
Yes.
I have this, like, clip-on thing that I can clip onto my bed that's got a super bright light and a magnifier on it. And I have to pull that out to do it. But then after that, it's pretty awesome. So this is the Broad Turn Tank by Isabel Kramer. And I'm knitting the second to the largest size. And it is knitting up pretty easily. It's just alternating sections of stockinette, and I'm pulling this up onto the cord so that it doesn't come off, because it's a super slippy yarn and it will just jump off the needles. So it's just alternating sections of stockinette.
What kind of needles are you
and reverse stockinette, Addy lace.
Okay. Maybe if you had wooden needles,
Yeah,
it would be less.
it's not worth the trouble to me.
Leslie hates wooden needles.
Well, wooden
She's
needles
a
hate
hater.
me. I'm tough on needles. I often find after I use even metal needles for a while that I find a slight bend in the right needle, the right side needle, because it's just I have a very tight grip.
And
on
yet
the
I
yarns.
loaned her my needles,
Right?
my signatures this week,
Um,
because she was at my house and needed a pair.
yes. So I am almost finished. Well, I'll say almost finished. I'm pretty close to being finished with the body up to the split of the arms, because this has a pretty deep arm well. You can't wear it without something under it unless you are très daring. I'm not. But you have to get to 27 rows from that white marker. I'm about 16, so I've got about 11 rows left. And I've been watching this History Channel show called Alone. I told Laura a little bit about it. I sort of made her listen to me talk about it. It's like Survivor Man, but there's 10 different people all dropped
I would
in
be
the
like
same
dead
area.
on the first day.
There have been several people who've tapped out on the first day. But anyway, if you can check it out on the History Channel online probably, but if you last the longest, you get $500,000. So there's incentive.
There's incentive, but
Season
not
1
enough incentive for me to participate.
Season 1 had 0 men. Season 2
Had 0 women. It was
0
all
women.
men.
You're right. I'm sorry. Season 2 has had 3 women, and 2 of them have tapped out. So I'm really pulling for this last one.
Is that the Air Force?
No,
whatever?
she was the first woman to tap out.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Oh no, wait, she wasn't. The one lady who like cut into her nerve.
See, this is why I can't. Okay, so no, can't do it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the first thing I'm knitting is Broad Turn, and I've been knitting on this while watching that show. And the second thing that I'm knitting on is my Meraki tank. Oh, there's my socks that I finished. So this is a tank by, I've already forgotten her name because I'm just wonderful like that, Sarah Gredbach. And it is a tank that is reversible, so the vast majority of it is in stockinette, and one of the upper panels is a lace, and then one is this sort of keyhole design. So last week I had finished the right front piece of stockinette and had gotten about halfway through the left front piece before I ran out of yarn, like a dummy. And
I'm leaving you a present right there.
Little Laura droppings. And I've got several people who contacted me that they had this yarn, but I had already been proactive and ordered it. So
thank you, though.
Thank you very much. You're all very kind, and I appreciate it.
Kind.
So this, it's funny because I look at this and I'm like, God, that's huge. And then I put it up to myself and I'm like, I guess I'm huge. So this is the front part of it. And I haven't done, it's got like an I-cord edging that you do after the fact. So the front part is done. And then the back part is done in an alternate color. I think this is, according to Plymouth, it's Plymouth yarn, and it's their Nettle Grove base. This charcoal color is the main color, and then this is Sunset, I think is what they call it. I've changed the lace. It was a simple netting, and I've changed it to a simple English mesh pattern, which is in the Barbara Walker trilogy, or collection.
Which one? Do you remember?
The third one, I think. And it's 4-stitch repeat, whereas the original was 8, so it's easily modified. And I'm only 1 full repeat into it. I just wanted to get a little bit into it, and then I wanted to work on my broad turn some more. So the lace uses 1 needle size smaller than the stockinette, which is smart because lace will block out bigger.
Yeah.
And these are Laura's signatures that I'm borrowing. And
because I didn't have any, well, I could have broken out some interchangeables, but all my Addies were like 24 inches, and Leslie needed a 30-something.
And I have them here. I was at Laura's and didn't think to bring them.
Yep. Well,
and the all-important drag race was coming on.
Yeah,
so
I borrow needles from you all the time.
So I've got...
Just don't break my signatures.
I will replace them if I do. I've got about 6 inches, maybe slightly more, of lace to knit, and then I-cord edging and stuff. So probably what I'll do is I'll continue to knit the lace up to where the 2 panels join, and then I'll stop until Stash Dash, because I'm just saving things up for Stash Dash, because that's really the only way I'll hit any marker.
Well, there's a 1,000-meter one this time.
Well, I'll definitely hit that one.
Yeah.
But, and then that way, once Stash Dash starts, I can still do the I-cord edging, I can still join the shoulders. I'll still have knitting that needs to be done. It's not just considered finishing.
Yeah.
So, that way it'll count for Stash Dash. Gosh, this looks so big, but it's really not. Well, it is, but it's me-sized big. So
That'll be fun.
And I'm very glad I ordered that other skein, because I've only got about half of it left. Because I forgot that on the, well, I didn't forget, I hadn't read that on the back side before you start the lace, there's still like 3 inches of, well, 2.5 inches of this that you knit. Otherwise your bra strap will show. Like your bottom, your band, not the straps. So I'm still got to do I-cord edging. So I'm glad I ordered. It ended up being the same dye lot and everything. Bought it from a totally different company. So that's awesome. And there are no issues blending as far as I could tell. So, and I took a picture in black and white so it would stick out. Not that it really matters because this is black and white, but
no, it's not. You're
well, this part
I see. I see what you're saying.
It's just gray and white. So
it's like that other color is definitely coppery.
So that's it. I've talked for 15 minutes, so it's all you.
I'm gonna be under 5 because
you're amazing.
I just have socks. No, so all I do is knit socks. Apparently, I finished. I actually wore my boxy, my worsted boxy, to work last week because it was 50 when I left for work, and then it got up to 85. So I was like, I'm totally air conditioning. Like I had my air at work up high. Like I totally rocked it. So there is a project page for that on Ravelry. And so that got worn, and now it's put away for the summertime. It is the first of the month, and I rejoined House Cup. So even though I finished my socks yesterday, I didn't want to start on anything new until the first of the month so that I could count it, not only for House Cup, but my Desert Vista Dye Works project. I wanted to not start until the first, so it would count. So I have multiple What is happening? Hey, I just pulled out this bag and there were 2 sets of needles in it. Like, I moved needles from my other bag. That's awesome. Now I can cast on more socks.
Oh, jeez. No, you just bound off with your HD on.
No, those are down there.
Oh.
I have 3 sets of sock needles, 2
On
of which
you.
are empty. Alright, that's cool. So I had Joanna Spring, who gifted me this bag for my birthday, because she's amazing. And I just pulled it and not realized that there was another set of needles from the last time that I knit socks in it. The colorway that I just started is Desert Vista Dyeworks. It is the Peacock colorway. I just made Leslie wind it. I can tell that I got this at SSK because it's got a price written on it.
Mm-hmm.
So this was one of my SSK purchases like year 2. It's good to get it out of the stash. It looks like this. It's got a dark purple, a dark blue, a turquoise, a brighter green, and then like a lime green. So I'm excited to see how this knits up. One of the things for Harry Potter House Cup is based on a bird. Pretty sure it's a bird. If not, it's going to be now. And so that's what made me choose the Peacock colorway. I have a cast on and a row knit, so not very much at all. I just did that while we were here. Leslie wound her yarn, my yarn for me on her fancy ball winder. I'm using size 0s. These are Addie sock rackets. So those are started. I haven't decided. Obviously, they're toe up because that's how I roll. But I haven't decided what I'm going to, what pattern I'm going to use with them. What kind of heel. I might do, what's that vanilla one that's got the ribbing that goes out?
Vanilla's the new black?
Yes, I might do Vanilla's the new black. So.
That's by Annie.
Yeah.
Whose patterns are all on sale.
Oh, are they?
Mm-hmm. Because she's on a summer trip.
Oh, cool. I just finished a sock. So after I finish my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks, what I've been doing is working on these HD socks at the end of the month until I can cast on the new ones. So I just finished.
That's a crazy long sock. Like, that is, I feel like, look how long the sock is. Okay, I can't see because I put the thing over it. There we go. It's like from, it's this long. It's huge.
It's this long. Well, I do have size 10.5 feet.
Yeah, but like, I'm sorry, I gotta like shame you in this.
Why?
I don't know, because I'm your best friend, and that's what we do.
I have, it uses a Wendy heel gusset, so it's got a gusset from the bottom up.
It is 18.5 inches
But
long.
look, like,
so it's 9 inches each way.
My foot's 10 inches, because that's how big my foot is, in case you need to know. And then
a 7-inch cuff.
A 7-inch cuff. Because I was at that autism conference, and I just kept knitting. And so the way they have their yarn is it's divided in half.
Yeah.
So I still have yarn left from the first half. Also, I left this by a window in the summertime, and this is what happens in the summer in Mississippi.
Yeah.
So it will, like, fade out. So I didn't want to go. I could have kept going. I thought about going all the way. Also, I can never bind off with just one color. It doesn't matter how much room I leave. You're going to see that again. It happens every single time. That first one's done. I knit that on my interchangeable set. Who does the red cords?
Xiaogu.
Okay. So it's the Xiaogu interchangeable sock set. So these are the 0s of those. So the first one's done. I'll cast on the second one at the end of the month when I finish whatever else I have on the needles and need a little something to be like, I'm knitting on this. I did finish some socks. I feel weird with 3 pairs of socks. Is weird. Anyway, and they've got pearl hair on them because that's how my life works.
Yeah, I was going to say, every single thing I own is covered in dog hair.
These are the Day of the Dead, and they are socks out of Desert Vista Dyeworks yarn, so I have 4 months completed. I'm going to go to 6 months. I don't think I'm going to go past 6. We'll see. I might go past 6. You never know with me.
I don't know if I can, because finish your thing and then I'll talk.
Okay. Well, I had an idea the other day. I'll talk to you about it later. So these used Wendy Thoughts, just her short row. What did I just say?
Wendy Thoughts?
Wendy Thoughts. Wendy Knits. This is why I can't record a podcast after work. Because I have no thoughts. Alright, so Wendy knits just not her gusset heel, just a short row heel.
Excuse me.
And these were knit on size 0s. One of the 2 sets that were in the bag. The Addy Turbos sock rockets. And they match. Yay, matchy. So, and these have a high cuff too. Do you want to measure the cuff on these?
And shame you into them?
Let's see. So they've got a 10-inch bottom. And the top is... So you have to do at least 4. So I decided to do 7.5. But
I just don't wear my socks that high.
I don't either. Here's the problem. I just broke your tape measure. That's one problem. Alright, I fixed it. Like, with these, it's such a long color repeat that I couldn't start, this is like, I don't know. So from that red's the last, okay, so a little bit of the black, but the red's really the first go around after the heel. So, like, that was only like 3 inches, and I couldn't start the cuff then. And so, like, I went to here, and I was like, well, and I had to stop, like, at this black to make them line up. And I was like, if I stop there, then it's going to be, like, an inch cuff, and it'll only be, like, 4 inches tall. That's not enough. So, obviously, I had to go to 7.5 inches.
Yeah, the longer repeat on this one, if you're wanting to make them match, then and not waste a lot of yarn.
Also, you can see that I've got black and yellow bind off on that one, and black and yellow bind off on that one. They match. Whatever. Actually, the second one's a half row higher than the other one because I started knitting with the black and I was like, oh crap, I need to bind off. So I took it back like the start of that round. Not to the start of the round, to the start of that needle and fixed it. Anyway. Yay, socks!
So I only have 2 colors of Desert Vista left. I've got Ready Player One, which is being made for me and only me. And then the only other one I have...
Wait, what?
Ready Player One.
Okay.
That's a color.
But it's only... I understand, but it's being made for you and only you?
Yes, me. The socks. I'm making them for
me. Okay. I was like, the colorway is being made specifically for you. I was very confused.
I'm not that much of a diva yet.
Okay. I like the yet at the end of that.
So the only other color I have is a variegated. And this is an old...
Look at that old label.
Yeah, this is Prickly Pear Cactus. It doesn't even have a base on here. That's how old this is.
So, just wool fingering weights.
A superwash wool,
superwash
490 yards. I'm sure she's got a name for the base now, but this is just old.
That's probably her first year of dyeing. I know it is, because she sent us a skein.
She did.
A couple of skeins her first year of dyeing.
So, I thought maybe I would make a shawl, but I went and looked, and it has to be socks or mittens. So they'll be socks. And you have to use at least half the skein, which will not be a problem for me. So, my pair this month will not be self-striping.
So what pattern are you going to use?
I might just do something simple like Hermione's every day.
Or monkey.
I haven't done monkeys in ages.
No pearl monkeys. Do it.
That might be fun.
They're so much fun.
Or at least like on the leg. I might not do it on the foot. Just because I don't always like a pattern inside my shoe. Sometimes, depending on the shoe, it feels weird. But, yeah, maybe I'll do monkeys.
Monkey. I also like that simple SKY.
Skip, Skype. Yeah. I don't know.
It's a good pattern.
So I've got this in Ready Player One. So actually, if I'm going to make it past 6 months, I have to order yarn.
Well, you have a 30% off coupon that's only good for 6 months.
Yeah. I looked on her website today because her colors change every month. And
that Silver Linings playbook's pretty.
Yeah, there were a couple that I liked. So maybe I'll order this month. Maybe I'll wait until June. But the way I've been doing the club so far this year is one for me, one for you. Well, not you, but general you. So January socks were for me. February socks were for someone else. March socks were for me.
You do some scrappy socks.
April socks were for someone else.
Because you can do up to 1 pair of scrappy
socks.
Yeah,
but I don't have enough for a full pair.
You can borrow some of my scraps. Because I have like...
Yeah, maybe I'll go dye.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
You need to get all your stuff together and bring them to me.
And I have a mini skein set that I won from her last year.
Oh, cool. Well, maybe I'll be doing that. But either way, I'll have cast on something by next week because I don't like to leave it too long. Because then I get annoyed by it and then I don't do it and I'll quit. And damn it, I'm making it to 6 months. So, anyhow, that's my poor tale of woe that I only made it.
I'm spinning.
You do.
So I have one complete bobbin.
Of happiness.
Of happiness and sparkle and nips. And I started spinning the other half. So what this is my good friend Becca. Her name is Little Pierogi. She's pretty awesome. I enjoy her immensely. She's an awesome librarian, and I wish I could be as awesome of a librarian as she is. And she makes, with her, like, leftover bits and bobs, like, when she cleans out her drum carter, she calls them betatats. And so it's all this, like, merino, and then a whole lot of
everything
I don't
else.
know.
Yeah.
So everything kind of gets thrown in there, which is super fun. They're like kitchen sink bats. This one, I think that's soy silk, that peach. Or silk, it's got neps, it's got some sari silk in there. It's just so much fun. And merino, and I hate merino, but I love spinning Becca's stuff because it's just so much fun. So it is creating, that's the fancy way that I divide my bats. Although I got the new, not new, but I got a Jillian Merino video off of Interweave on how to spin bats that I'm going to look at. I did watch, so Jillian Merino, Interweave had a sale, as they do. And they had a Spin Your Stash Jillian Merino video that was $5. $5. And it's like 35 minutes, and I watched it. And I got lots of good information. I really, really enjoyed it about, like, blending stuff, but also using up stuff that's a little bit felted or needs to be opened up, and how to do that, and how to organize your fiber stash, which I'm not going to do. But actually my fiber stash is organized right now because this fall I did the whole where I put like all my bases together. So the way my fiber stash currently is organized is like all the bats are together because bats are kind of special, and like all the loop bumps are together, and then it's done by fiber composition because I find that I constantly am looking for these are so pretty. I am constantly looking for like superwash merino to spin first. I am a lot of times a project-driven spinner versus the process of spinning, or I have become that over time. So I look for specific fiber types in order to do specific things. So anyway.
And you spun this on?
The rose. I got a new wheel, y'all.
I'll wait while everybody stares in shock and awe.
Okay, so my mom joined a spinning guild in Knoxville, and it's awesome, and she really, really likes it. And, like, the second meeting she went, she texted me, and she's like, I need to know what a good price is on a Lundrum upright. And I said, you know, like, they're $700 new with all the accessories-ish. What accessories does it come through with? And we went back and forth, and this lady was selling her Lundrum for, like, was it $300?
Yeah, it was super cheap.
And so I've spun on multiple roses. I spun on Vicky with No Ease 3 years ago at SSK, and I really liked it. And I have been looking for an art yarn wheel, which is weird to say.
She's also been wanting a Masha Croft. So.
And I wanted a Masha Croft for our tasting room at SSK. So I had spun on the Pioneer, I had spun on an Aura, and the Rose, and I really, really liked the Rose and how it spun. And they have a Wild Flyer, which is a more open flyer, and then they also have an overdrive head that is huge and you can do even more on. But I think all I need right now is the Wild Flyer, unless I'm going to spin like Christmas lights, like big Christmas lights, or like 9-ply core spun or something crazy. Like, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Or one of the things that I'm going to do for my owl this term is I'm going to chain ply core spun. So that's going to be fun. And I'm going to thread ply core spun.
Figuring out the twist on that gives me a headache. Because you have to spin your core first.
I'm going to spin my core
to
first.
give it twist. And then you...
The other way you can do that is you can wrap your core onto a spindle and allow it to let the twist out as you spin. But because I need to do at least 100 yards, I'm not winding 100 yards onto a spindle.
But you got your twist added on the core.
I'm going to add twist to a
then
core.
Then you untwist it essentially as you're spinning on the wrapped fiber.
And then you
and
go
then
back
you're
the other
twist
way
again when you're doing the chain plying.
Mm-hmm.
So, whew.
It's going to be interesting. Actually, you might not want to pre-spin the core on that because you're taking out twist by Navajo plying it.
Yeah.
So
as long as you keep direction.
I won't pre-spin a core on that.
Just do a little sample of each, a couple yards.
Yeah, I have to sample anyways.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's 8 different things, so I'm definitely going to core spin for one. I think I'm going to core spin and add sequins for one.
A what?
Sequins. Like, sequins. Stop. Shut up.
Like a sequins dress?
Yes. Just like that.
That's a Drag Race joke.
Yeah. Just like that.
RuPaul's Drag Race. Roxy Andrews.
So I'm going to add, like, strips of sequins.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to do the chain ply, core spun. And then I'm going to do other stuff. I wanted to get my proposal ready today, but that's not going to happen because I've got SSK stuff to do. So anyway, spinning. Look at how pretty. But I need to buy some Acreworks bobbins for this wheel because these bobbins are ugly.
And for no other reason than that.
They are. They made purple plastic ones for a while.
Oh.
They do like different colors for like short periods of time. But I like Acreworks because I can see through them.
So if somebody has purple ones they want to give you, then you won't take them?
No, because I want Acreworks. Spoiled.
Such a diva.
I know. I'm going to buy them at SSK. If he has them.
You should let him know you want them.
No, I should order them ahead of time and then I don't have to pay tax.
Anyway. So we have a book to review.
We do.
I'm going to let Laura do the thing.
Oh, I get to touch things.
All right.
I'm going to move forward.
So this is...
Rugged Knits. It is by Andrea Rangel. Rangel? Sure. It's got 24 different practical projects for everyday living. It retails for $24.99. Mm-hmm. You can also buy it on Amazon in hardcover or on Kindle edition for a little bit less than that.
I'm going to make this super fancy.
You're going to make this. Oh, look at you.
Look at me.
Fanciness. Awesome. Now you can't see the binder.
Sorry. Now it looks professional.
Look at that. All right. So when you read the intro, she talks about how she's been a lot of different places, including she went overseas with the Peace Corps. So she likes practical garments that also kind of... They're beautiful at the same time. So practical but beautiful. And all this is filmed on a farm, so she's selling you the farm lifestyle.
Yes.
The very first thing, I think Joanna Spring's husband, Bill, needs a sweater. This is the men's silhouette base layer. It is a fingering weight sweater. It is sized from 36 all the way up to 55 1/4. Knit on size 3 needles. It would be a big endeavor, but I think that it would be very cool as like a layering piece, and that's what it's meant to be, a base layer.
And I think it's classic
and a
enough
3-season pullover
that you would wear it forever.
Yeah. Every pattern has this little like stitch guide in a different color, so it's really easy to see, and it also has a schematic.
Mm-hmm.
So really, really, and that's kind of what we expect with Interweave. There are multiple pictures of every single piece, and they're selling you on the lifestyle of living on a farm and looking good. And then for Joanna Spring, same thing, girls version, same yarn, sized from a 32 all the way up to 51 1/4. It's really, really cute. I'm not showing you the tights, I find these tights a little bit distracting. I don't know why.
I think it's sort of your typical, Laura was mentioning this, your sort of typical Interweave, hit or miss kind of styling.
With the styling, yeah. So, because I often wear tights and a skirt and a sweater as I walk around my farm.
Hey, now.
Selling
somewhere
you the dream.
That person exists.
Yep.
And is rocking the look.
With my bucket.
She's very clean for working on a farm. I will give her that.
Alright, the next sweater. I actually like it. It's got this exposed seam on the outside. This is the Hazy Cloud pullover. Uses a sport weight yarn. Fiber Company Rhodes China Light, which is an alpaca silk camel cashmere blend. One of the things that Leslie and I were laughing about is the price point on some of these yarns for the sweaters, especially in the larger sizes, is interesting. This one actually, I like the neckline on this. It's got a V-neck, but it's not too open.
Yeah.
Schematic and patterns are, like we said before, very clear, easy to read.
Nice beauty shots.
Yeah. Although, I think both of these are from the back, aren't they? Well, no, that's from the front.
Yeah, there isn't a full-on shot in the book. But...
Yeah, it's sideways front, sideways back. It's a color check pattern. Really, really pretty. Mm-hmm. And then we have a textured wisp vest. This is a super bulky, nice layering piece. I'd like to see it all in one color, actually.
Yeah.
I think it might be more flattering in the single color.
I do think it would knit up super quickly, though.
Oh, yeah.
And would be a very useful, practical piece for a farm. Assuming that the yarn was a superwash.
It's not, but this is a 32 up to a 51.5. It is a breed-specific yarn. It's imperial yarn, so it's a made-in-the-U.S. yarn.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, all this is substitutable.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Substitute it for something that is superwash.
The Bright River cowl neck sweater, I think, is my favorite piece in the book. Besides, I like the first two sweaters as well. This size is sized a little bit smaller. It's sized from a 27 up to a 46.5. It uses the Fiber Company Terra, so it's around a $200 sweater / vest. I like the variegation though on that yarn a lot. It's got like these little flecks, so it's more of a tweedy yarn.
Yeah,
I think that works really, really well with this.
I do think the sleeves are at sort of a weird length, or maybe it's just the angle of the photo.
They're just like an inch, maybe.
Yeah. I do like the pattern, but it doesn't go up to my size, so I'd have to do some math to make it work. But it is a classic.
It's not knit from the top down, so it's knit from the bottom up, and then the body, and then the sleeve length. It's round yoke. Huh. So it's a yoke sweater.
Yeah. So
you're casting on those like 1 inch sleeves.
That's why.
It's a little bit of a weird...
Yeah. Or it just seems that way to me. It could just be the angle of the photo.
Woolen Explorer cardigan is a unisex cardigan with some pocketses. Mm-hmm. It is meant to have a lot of ease. You can either do a more fitted, which is 2 to 4 inches ease, or 9 to 13 inches, as shown kind of in the photo. So it does have a larger size range, 33 up to a 57, because they're building in that ease a lot more, which is really, if you're doing 8 inches ease or 13 inches ease, is not as big of a size range as you think.
Yeah.
It'd be a 44 if you're doing the highest amount of ease. Another yoke, really pretty, classic. I think that's a very classic Icelandic looking sweater.
Yeah.
And it uses, what I do like about this book, one of the things, is it says, this is worsted weight yarn. This is how much you need of the main color. This is how much you need of the contrast color. This is how much you need of contrast color too. And by the way, this is what it's shown in, and this is how many skeins. I like it when people have the numbers like that. Just so, and then the gauge is at the bottom. It's 18 inches, or 18 stitches per 4 inches. Really, really pretty. But the information that you need, there you go. There's the beauty shot. Is all there. There is a vest. I'm gonna skip this vest because I am not a fan. There's something weird about it.
It just looks sort of slouchy and sloppy in a way it wasn't intended to, I think. I don't think that the styling did it any favors.
I feel like with the button bands, something's going on there.
Yeah.
Like, they either have it pinned in the back to make it fit her, or something's going on. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I'm sure it would be lovely in person. That's one that I would look on Ravelry to see how other people have been wearing it.
And how it looks on other shapes.
Yes, definitely. Elderberry Road cardigan has a very open neckline.
And it sort of starts a theme.
Of open necklines.
Of very open necklines, which, if it's something that flatters you, rock on. It's something that I can't really wear well, but
it works best, I feel like, the open necklines with bottom heavy people because you're drawing the eye up here.
Right.
Cute hat. There's a bunch of cute hats. This is Passing Glacier, which is a 2-color worsted weight hat. The hats are each come in 3 sizes. That one's cute. Here's a hoodie.
The wrap up hoodie.
Yeah.
Which has got sort of drop shoulder, and an interesting texture here on the, or maybe that's just the color. Somebody didn't alternate skeins.
I think the skeins weren't alternated.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Or there's a shadow in the lighting of the photography.
Maybe. I thought
because
that was a
it
texture.
does do blotches of. Let's see how it's assembled. It's pieced with drop shoulders. Thinking they probably didn't alternate skeins.
That would be my guess.
And then it's got pockets that are knit separately and sewn on.
I do like the toggles on the front.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, it is knit in pieces, so.
Interesting. Pretty shawl. And the shawl changes directions. It does have, what did we say, 9 charts?
Yes.
So it is more difficult than it looks, but it's really pretty. And it uses Quince & Company Turn. It's a 1,200 yards shawl, so it would be really nice to just curl up in.
Yeah, big comfy shawl.
Definitely. There are a couple cowls. This is the Lilac Sky Infinity Scarf. This is a lace weight. It takes 1,300 yards. The cowls are mainly, I think they're all one size. And it has a compressed row gauge because it's drop stitches. Another cowl.
It's difficult to see any sort of patterning in that picture.
This one, again, is a little bit different. Difficult to see patterning on. And they do have a laying down shot of it, but it's on a white background, so it's hard to see.
Yeah.
Because it's almost a nude color cowl as well. This is the Sunflare shawl. It's meant to be a kerchief, and that's the size that it is. It's definitely kerchief sized, even though it uses 6 charts.
Yes, because even on this very tiny statured woman, it is small.
It is. And it is blocked aggressively with blocking wires. Surging River Wrap reminds me a lot of my
Ash Albert shawl.
Yeah. The Melanie Berg shawl. That's sitting over here. It's a big, bulky. It would knit up very quickly. Great for like a last minute present for someone, or a nursing shawl would
detail.
be. Yeah, with a feather and fan. Lily toe socks. The socks are a little bit out of place. They're the only socks in this book. The rest of the book, I mean, there's that one like red shawl, but it tends to go, the kerchief, but it tends to go more towards neutrals almost, I feel like, as an overall color palette. And then, well, there's that pink too. There's this bright pop.
Yeah.
They're knee socks, but they don't go to her knees, which is a little smatic, but it drives me crazy. But I could see them being perfect to wear with like boots, the high like
the
plastic,
Wellington,
type boots. Cute toe detail.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty socks.
They're pretty. It's a lot of knitting. That's more than a 7-inch cuff. Yeah.
It's like 600 and something yards.
I like the Weathered Mountain hats. The hats in here are a little bit short for my taste. They're meant to, the author, I almost said the main character. The author is a biker, and so she wears a lot of hats underneath her helmet. So they're a shorter length to kind of go underneath. But you could easily make them larger. Yeah. There's a mitts pattern, which is super cute and uses hazelnuts entice, which is a really nice yarn.
Yes.
Another toque.
Boreal toque.
And this uses Brooklyn tweed. There's a bunch of Brooklyn tweed type pattern, not type. There are a bunch of patterns that use Brooklyn tweed in this book. 3 sizes. I would like to make it. I like bottom of the ears for hat length.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like that 5 inches before the decreases is not enough. I feel like you can either cover your forehead or your ears, but not both.
And then we go back to a sweater. This is a very open neckline. I like this is a Brooklyn tweed yarn. It uses fingering weight. Size 38 up to 58. Intended to be used with 10 inches positive ease.
Yeah.
So really 48 would be what you want to wear.
On the highest size, yeah.
Yeah.
Laura and I both like the details on the bust and the sleeves, but it is such an open neck. I would struggle to find a way to wear it.
It's open-necked and oversized, so it just comes off as a little bit more...
I mean, I think that
unfitted and almost sloppy look, because you've got so much extra fabric.
It's so big on the bottom, and it's just stretched, and the way that they've got her posed actually diminishes it in some regard, because she's sort of leaning forward.
Yeah.
So it's sort of it's not emphasized as much as it would be.
I would love to see this with like a negative ease or very little ease
and a smaller collar.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you get a side view, and it does have nice detailing here on the shoulders, but I'm not a fan of how open that is.
And then the braided brook pullover at the end is a highly cabled. This sweater would be very heavy. It uses an alpaca yarn, and it uses, for like the largest size, over 2,000 yards of an alpaca yarn that's cabled. So you're adding a lot of weights.
And alpaca has no memory.
It doesn't.
So
it would grow.
Yeah, it would just stretch. And the weight of it would cause it to stretch more.
So I would knit it out of a wool versus an alpaca and see how other people have knit it, what yarns other people have used on Ravelry. Because I think it would be really, really cool in a worsted spun wool.
Yeah, something that would make it a little
that's
lighter.
More light.
Well, woolen spun.
Woolen spun, you'll lose the cable details. You definitely want worsted spun. Because woolen spun kind of fades out cables a little bit.
Yeah, but it's a lot lighter.
It is, but with like the Brooklyn tweed, you're pulling on it a lot for cables too, so you're gonna possibly be damaging the yarn.
But
depending on how tight you knit. What's the gauge on this? 20. So it worsted. Interesting. Alright. I think that's it.
Yep, I think so.
All the charts. That's it.
Yeah, there's a little technique section in the back, but you definitely couldn't use this as a first knitting book.
No.
And even though we're a little hard on it, I feel like it's still
it's a gorgeous book.
Yeah, it's photographed well, and the knits, I think, they definitely have Andrea's like stamp
aesthetic
on them. Yeah, you can tell.
And the choices that we would change would be small choices, like yarn choices. You can change colors. Those aren't huge modifications. Lengthening of hats.
And this is all our opinion. This is not the gospel. So we do appreciate Interweave sending us this book for review.
This is Rugged Knits, and it is 24 practical projects for everyday living. It does retail for $24.99. And you can purchase it on Interweave's website either as a book or as a digital download, or on Amazon.
You can sometimes get it cheaper on Amazon.
Sometimes.
So I would look there as well. We've got both linked in our site.
Awesome.
So let me do my
your magic.
wizardry.
I'm going to talk about what I've been reading because it hasn't been much while you do your wizardry. And I'm not knitting. I don't know what the deal is.
You were turning pages.
I was turning pages. That just made me think of Picture Pages. Picture Pages, Picture Pages. Did you ever watch Picture Pages?
Apparently not.
With Bill Cosby. It was like Saturday morning cartoon. He had this fancy marker named Mortimer and would connect the dots.
No.
And I wanted a Mortimer marker so bad, and Mama Linneman was having none of that.
What made a Mortimer marker?
He looked like we're going to watch Picture Pages on YouTube as soon as we're done. All right. I have been rereading Burn For Me, and by rereading, I mean I've been listening to it on my phone. Because the new one comes out in May.
Oh, cool.
So I'm trying, and then like I know that, so the second and third come out within like 2 months of each other, which is super exciting because it's been like 2 years.
I don't know if I ever read Burn For Me.
Really? Oh, I like.
What's
Burn
the
For Me.
premise?
It is a girl, and her father died of an illness. She is in bond enforcement in Texas.
Oh yeah. It starts out in a house in the desert. Or something? Yeah,
kind of. It's his cousin. So the male protagonist's cousin goes to see him, and they're estranged, and she's crying because her son committed this crime. He helped kill a bank person in a robbery. a bank guard who's also a police officer, off-duty police officer. He helped guide the guy who's people have like paranormal talents in like Steelheart fashion, and it has an unreliable narrator, I would say.
So what's an unreliable narrator?
An unreliable narrator is one that does not necessarily tell the truth.
Oh, okay.
You can call them liars.
Okay, that's usually the word I would use, but all right.
But you don't know what they're lying about.
Okay.
So, it makes it interesting. Have you really not read that?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'll have to.
You should read that one.
Maybe I'll listen to it instead.
You should. I did not buy it. I got it from my local library.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm listening to that. I've been reading some Christy Ridgway rockstar children romance fluff, like total fluff, like
it's okay.
And not very good. But the first one was free and they sucked me in, and then they were like $2.99 each, and way to get $21 from me, Amazon. So I've been reading those. I need to read some books for work, but I've been we started testing. I've just been not in the mood at work to do much of anything. I need to be I started gearing up for the end of the year, because we are done in 3 weeks from today is my last day with children, and it's a 60% day, so all my books are due back in the library next Friday. But my like awesome library helpers are 8th graders, and they've been testing all week. So it's hard for me they're my motivators. And because people are testing, we can't do my normal checkouts. So it's been weird. My favorite thing about being in the library is being with kids. And I haven't really had kids. So I'm not intrinsically motivated as I sit here not knitting. I know that's a shocker. So
I'm knitting to get to the end because I've only got that much. Yeah. But then I have to do another one of those fancy joins and pull out the magnifying glass. So as far as me for reading, I reread A Promise of Fire by Amanda Boucher.
Yeah, that's a good series.
And then started Breath of Fire, and then realized I'd already read it.
I knew you had read it. I told you that last week.
I didn't think I had, but I have. But that's okay. So it's good.
It's a good one. I wonder when the third comes out. Probably next January.
I finished Lord Mouse on Audible, which is a good short, I'll say short, it was about 6 hours, kind of medieval.
Should be knitting.
The main character goes in and steals things. That's his job. And I didn't realize until about 2 hours in it was a gay romance. Like, I had no idea. But it was very good. But it is something to know, because their details do. It is explicit.
So everything we've discussed today is adult books.
Yes. So that was Lord Mouse, but it was good. And then I decided I was doing some sewing, which I'll show you in a minute. And I've mentioned this before, but sometimes if you own a book from Amazon, like if you bought the digital version, you can get the audiobook for like $2. Not always, but sometimes. So I have purchased Annihilation, which is the first in a trilogy called the Southern Reach Trilogy by Jeff Vanderbeek? No, that's not right. That was the Dawson's Creek guy.
I just read an article about him today, and how every time he hears that theme song, even though he has 4 kids of his own, he just wants to crawl underneath a table. Jeff, and there will never be a reunion show for that, FYI.
Jeff Vandermeer. Sorry.
And he was in Don't Trust the Bee.
Not Jeff Vandermeer, but Jeff Vanderbeek. Or Mark. What was his name?
Vanderbeek is Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, but what was his first name? James?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, things that are not related to books. So, the Southern Reach trilogy, I finished the first one, which was called Annihilation, and started the second one, which is called Authority. It's sort of contemporary science fiction, and it's very weird. Like, I'm halfway through the second book, and I'm still not totally sure what's happening. It's about this area off the coast, they never say of where, that something happened a number of years ago, and now, it's almost like a bubble around this area, and anything that goes into this area never comes back. And whatever
like
was
area,
in that area...
Like a Bermuda Triangle?
Yeah, sort of. And they just call it Area X. And whatever was in Area X at the time that it popped into existence just disappeared. Like ships, and there was a naval carrier, and like the town and all that just disappeared. And so there are these scientific expeditions that are run by the government. So you know how efficient that ends up being over the course of like 20 some odd years. And you sort of get dropped into the middle of it, trying to figure out... In the first book, you're one of the... or you as the reader are one of the expeditionists. In the second book, you're dropped in as Control, who is the new head of the Southern Reach investigation, whatever. And I can't remember who you are in the third. I don't think I finished the third because it got so weird that I just sort of gave up on it. It's a little easier to listen to than it is to read. So I'm about halfway through the second one. If you're looking for something super weird, this might be your bag.
There you
go. But yes. So those are both by Jeff Vandermeer, not Vanderbeek. And then I did some sewing this week. So our air conditioning finally got fixed.
Yay!
And now I can actually...
And now it's 50 degrees outside.
Yeah. Now I can actually spend some time in my craft room, because my craft room's on the second floor, so it was pretty unbearable heat-wise up here. But I'm playing catch-up with the Social Bee Sampler, which is linked in the show notes. Our show notes are always on our website, TheKnitGirlls with 3Ls.com. Yep. So I'm playing catch-up with the Social Bee Sampler, and she's put out... it's free quilt block every week. I think she's doing something like 26 or something like that. And she's up to 13. So I think she's about halfway through. I had been keeping up to about week 5. And then my air conditioner started giving me problems. And then we did some travel. And anyway, so I got off track. But I did blocks 8, 9, and 10 this week.
So how far are you behind now?
And she's put out 13, so I'm 3 behind at this point. And I'm hoping to do those this week. Most of my time ends up being, you iron the fabric, press the fabric, and then you cut the fabric, and then you sew the fabric together, and then I realize I've done it incorrectly and tink it apart, and then sew it together and realize I've done it incorrectly again. And it's usually because the way that she does her block diagrams is she's usually got one light and one dark when she's showing you different colors, and I've usually cut my fabric to be opposite of that.
So can I make a suggestion? I would print out graph paper off the internet and recolor it in your color scheme before you...
I'm thinking about that for the ones coming up.
I would do that. That's a simple, easy fix. And graph paper...
I have a ton of it.
Yeah, you can buy off the internet. Or not even buy. You can just print off the internet for free.
I have some that I use for quilting, like sketching out quilting diagrams. So maybe I'll try that. So this is Clay's Choice. This is number 8. And this is my number 8 block. Nothing super fancy.
It's cute. I like it.
I did make the mistake. I didn't really take into account
Let's go fishies.
Yeah. The directionality of this wave fabric. So the waves are going all different directions. I don't think it's really going to make a difference. But once I got it together, I was like, I should have paid attention and fussy cut that in a way. But I'm not going to do that. Let's just be real. Block number 9 is the... I'm sorry. That's not 9. This says Dove in the Window, but that's incorrect. Okay. Well, I forget what this one is called. But this one's block number 9.
Your blocks are different sizes, too.
Yes, they are. Some have sashing and some don't. So, like, this one won't have a sashing of white around the edges, but that one will. I haven't cut sashing for any of them yet, because they're all exactly the same size, so I'll do that at the end. So, this one is number 9. I can't remember what it's called, but it smells like Flatter, which is the soak pressing spray. So it smells really good.
It does smell good.
I'm trying to press my seams open where I can so that it'll be easier to quilt, but it's not always possible. And number 9, oh, that was number 10. This is number 9, I think.
So that's not the wedding.
This one is the wedding ring.
Okay.
And it's
not the whales.
Yeah, got little whales and waves. So this is.
So was this a pack of fabric that you?
It was a fat quarter bundle. It was Kujira and something. I've linked it before, but I'll go back and copy the link again. I got it from fatquartershop.com. There were like 13 different fabrics in it. So these are all part of the same bundle.
Okay.
Because I am terrible at picking out that many different colors to go together. So yeah, this one. So I did 8, 9, and 10. Although I cannot remember what
that middle one
10
is.
Yeah, I can't.
What's the other piece of paper that you just put down? Maybe it's.
They were both number 7.
Oh.
Dove. Oh, that is Dove in the Window. So I did 7, 8, 9. Crap. I'm behind 4, so I've got
That's
10,
fine.
11, 12, and 13.
You'll catch
And
up.
then a new one comes out on Wednesday, so then I'll be 5 behind.
You can work on it tonight. I'm gonna leave you alone and watch the Penguins game.
Yeah, so Dove in the Window was number 7. God, I'm so far behind.
You're fine.
And that's it. That's all of the quilting that I've done. I'm desperately trying to play catch up because
You'll get there.
I don't like being behind. And there's so many other things I want to do. And I've got Laura's quilt that I want to quilt. But there's just more crap. Oh, Butterfly Crossing is the next one. It's like a crap ton of half-square triangles.
You do fine.
Anyway.
Cool.
That's it. And I'm down to my last, like, half yard before I have to do the fancy join. And I think that's it.
Cool.
Laura's like, I'm ready to go.
I'm like, the Penguins game started 25 minutes ago, lady.
All right. So you guys have a lovely week.
You're fine.
And we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.